So we are recording. So we talked about how many of you guys were in construction services versus professional service. So if you guys don't mind, can you guys put yourself on mute and then we're going to get started. Okay. And that way we won't have a lot of feedback and background noise, you know, because some people, dogs start barking and the cat starts meowing, and so then we can't hear and we get lost because of distractions. So we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna share my screen. Let me see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let me see. So can you guys see that? Yes, no. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So we're going to get started, and contractology is a word that I just made up, to be honest with you, because you know, as you guys know, and many of you guys that are on the webinar know that I deal a lot with contracts, whether it's from the government or whether it's from Fortune 500 companies. I deal a lot with contracts, how to position my business or myself to receive contracts, or even for my clients, or how to position myself to receive contracts from Super Bowl. That is a lofty vision for some of us because we don't even think doing business with the Super Bowl. And so for me, I'm already getting ready to do business with the Super Bowl next year. That's going to be in Miami. So if you've joined us, put your video on mute. That way we don't hear your background noise. And we're going to get started into the presentation. And then I'm just going to open it up for any questions or anything like that. Or you guys can put it in the chat while we're going through the PowerPoint presentation. And so while I'm going through, if I can see your chats, I will. Or if you guys just say, Cassandra, you're going too fast, or you're talking and we don't understand what you're saying, turn your mute off and just chime in and just let me know. Is that okay? Shake your heads. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. All right. So we're going to get started. So if for those of you who don't know me and don't know me well, like maybe Darcy doesn't know me very well, you know, a lot of people want to know what qualifies or quantifies a person to talk about a subject matter. And so I just want to give you guys who don't know me a little history on my background so you can know who I am and how I got to where we are today. So this is me. I am Dr. Cassandra Bradford. I was born in East St. Louis, Illinois, and I come from a long family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather owned a restaurant. He also made corn liquor. So I don't know if that was a business, but back in the 1900s, 1910, my grandfather, who is Choctaw Indian, he owned a restaurant. He also made corn whiskey. My mom also, my mom and dad also owned several businesses in the city. And so my dad started his business first. My dad owned a construction company. He specialized in roofs. And my dad is a service disabled veteran. He was in the Air Force. And my mom, who at that time was working for Housing and Urban Development, she was a regional director for HUD. She got my father certified as a veteran-owned business, and he was awarded a 10-year contract with Kentucky Fried Chicken. So my dad put the roofs on every Kentucky Fried Chicken in the Midwest for 10 years. So I got to work on the roof for my dad, and he paid me in strawberry parfait. So I was a fat kid, so I loved it. And so I remember growing up, my dad would tell my mom, you know, if you help me, you know, grow the business, I'll allow you to retire early and you'll live your dream. And my mom's dream was to have her own restaurant. She was doing some catering on the side for political events. My mom was also on city council. She was also a community activist. So My mom got to retire at 53 years old. And my dad, at that time, right before she retired, they bought about 12 single family residents. And my dad would gut them out and fix them up, and they would rent them out. And then um, they bought the corner gas station. And then my dad bought a commercial building for my mom. And they kept buying out every business on the block until they owned the entire block. So my mom was able to open up her restaurant that sat over 500 people. And then my dad added on to it, and they had a backstage and live band and all kind of stuff. And so a lot of people said, well, Cassandra, you were predestined to be an entrepreneur or start your own business. And I'm like, I don't know. I was born to get a paycheck. But my brother Daryl, I have a brother named Daryl. He also owns his own business. He makes cabinets. I have another brother. He's an electrician. He has his own business. And so a lot of people, and then my daughter, I have a 25-year-old daughter. She has her own business, and she does marketing and public relations. So I guess we're going to keep this going throughout our generation, hopefully. So that's a little bit about where I was born. I left East St. Louis in 1982. If you know anything about East St. Louis, it is a horrible place. It has the highest murder rate than any city in the United States. And so I left East St. Louis when I graduated in 1982, and I got a job at AAA Insurance. And so how many of you guys know when you start a job, they make you sign a contract, that you're going to adhere to their policies, you're going to adhere to their dress codes, right? And they're going to pay you a certain amount of money. So I got hired on at AAA Insurance. I was a legal secretary. I don't know why they hired me to be a legal secretary. I went to college to go to law school, so maybe I thought it was a good fit, but later it wasn't. I went to Cal State Fullerton. That's where I got my BS in business management. And then I went on to the University of Phoenix when I was working on my master's in biomechanical engineering, specializing in kinematics. And so if you guys, anybody have ever been to any of my workshops, I'll tell you guys I was a crash test dummy. So that's a true story, but we're not going to talk about that today. But that was another contract, because those were student loans. So when you if anybody ever gone to college and signed those student loans contracts, those were contracts that you signed and entered into. So in 1992, I got married. So, a divorce is nothing but another signed contract. I got married. I had my daughter in 1994. My daughter's name is Paris, and I had her at Kaiser Permanente in Anaheim Hills, California. So you guys know when you're in a hospital, you sign another contract, right? Because you're in their hospital. Well, in 1996, I got divorced, and I moved my daughter to Irvine, California, and my career just kept progressing. And so, of course, a divorce is a contract, but I started working for several other insurance companies. I was a litigation manager. I later became vice president at a AAA non-standard company in Irvine, California. And like most of you guys, when you left corporate America, you left because something happened, right? Something happened. And so something happened to me. They did me wrong, right? Because I was in an industry that was predominantly male. As a matter of fact, my thesis in college was on the glass ceiling, right? Because I thought it was easy. I had to climb the corporate ladder, and it was horrible because I was in a male-dominated industry. But in 2002, when all of this stuff happened, I decided, well, I was pushed. It wasn't that I decided to start my own business, because I was living in a house I couldn't afford. I had my daughter, and I had her in a school, of course, I couldn't afford. And so I was living the American dream in debt, of course. But I remember calling a mentor that I had over the past 12 years who suggested that I started my own business. And so what I did was I had hired a lot of defense attorneys to defend insurance companies through lawsuits. And so I called some of them. As a matter of fact, I went to visit 3 attorneys in Los Angeles, California. And I remember so vividly, my daughter, I think she was in the 4th grade or 5th grade, and they were just learning Microsoft Office, and she made me some business cards. And I took those business cards, and I went to Los Angeles, and I secured 3 contracts from 3 attorneys. And my business by the time I got back home, my fax machine was out of paper. I mean, you guys probably don't know what a fax machine is, but my fax machine was out of paper. And my business grew way too fast. I never had to market that business. With those 3 clients, we did close to $750,000 in almost a year, like 8 months. So I grew way too fast, way too fast. So in 2005, I got a call from an attorney friend of mine who had referred me to an attorney in Dallas. This attorney was working on a case involving Neiman Marcus on a slip and fall incident. My very first company, we reviewed medical records and accidents for attorneys, and we did a lot of legal stuff for them. But anyway, they wanted us to review a case, and we did. They were prepared to pay this lady about $5 million. And so we ended up reviewing the case, and we're like, you owe her maybe $8,000. And the defense attorney says, if you were a certified minority or a woman-owned business, we're going to put all of our work out for bid. And if you bid and win, we would love to give you all of our business. I got to thinking, how big is AIG Insurance? Well, you guys know AIG is based out of New York. They are huge. And not only would I have AIG's business, but I would get also business from the state of Texas. So it was awesome. So I remember calling a good friend of mine named John Ruiz in San Bernardino, California. I'm like, what is this certification stuff as a minority-owned business? And I called my mom, and of course, she reminded me of getting my dad certified. And I ended up, I got certified. I bid it on the contract, and the person, it was only 2 of us that actually bid it on this contract, and the other person pulled out. And I ended up winning on default. And so the other part of that is that I should have read the whole thing, because it said I had to be a resident of Texas, which means I had to move to Texas. So signed that contract with the state of Texas, and AIG, moved to Texas in 2006. It was about almost 7 houses by this time. So of course, when you buy homes, you enter into contracts. So still that word contract. So got the contract, we're working the contract in 2012. Well, before 2012, AIG pulled out of Texas, and we ended up losing the contract, not based on anything that we did, but we lost the contract because the state of Texas allowed an insurance company to go out of business, which insurance companies can't go out of business. But anyway, we're still, but in 2009, and I didn't put this in my slide, but in 2009, I went to Washington, D.C., and I wanted to learn everything about government contracting, because I couldn't believe that so many women and minority-owned businesses knew nothing about contracts, or how to win contracts, or how to grow their business with another opportunity. So in 2012, I got 2 honorary doctorates. One was in ministry and one was in relational counseling, because I was already going to school for my doctorate on relationship counseling. I ended up getting an honorary doctorate as a result. In 2013, most of you guys know me. Ever since 2006, I've been doing a workshop in Dallas and in Los Angeles, in Nashville, Tennessee, called Business Basics 101. Well, in 2013, I decided to replicate that business workshop and to go into every city and just ask for a contract. Well, I ended up with over 30, almost 30 contracts as of right now, with city entities with this exact same workshop. Isn't that something? Same workshop that I've been doing since 2006. And in 2009, I am hosting the Run Women's Conference at Dallas Cowboy Stadium. And of course, you guys know that's another signed contract. So all of this is what I'm saying, is that we sign contracts every day for business, but we don't think, how can we secure long-term business with contracts? So I get excited when I talk about contracting, long-term clients, how to grow your business exponentially, because a lot of people are not thinking about contracts or how to grow their business. So I'm always excited. So if anybody follow me on social media, you guys know I always talk about happy stuff, and I'm always excited. If it's not my business, I'm excited about somebody else's business. So today we're going to talk about what is contractology. So when you look up words in a dictionary, you guys know what a contract is, right? Because of course, if you're in business, you are dealing with contracts every day. Please tell me yes. shake your head or something, that you thank you. We are dealing with contracts every day, and contracts can be either spoken or written. And I want to let you guys know, you guys that are in Texas, verbal agreements are upheld in court. So be careful of agreements that you make even out of your mouth. But the contracts that I'm talking about with the government are always written. Okay, so these are going to be written agreements typically involving the exchange of goods, services, money, or promises, and they are binding. So most of us that are in business, we have a good, we have services, or we have product, right? We have goods, we have services, or we have product. So the government buys all of these, and they will enter into a contract with you because they buy goods, products, and services, and this is the contracts for your business. So what is ology? Ology is the study of. So when you're looking up contracts or something like what I do, I'm always studying how government buys, when they buy, where do they buy, and who do they buy from, right? So I already know they buy from people like me. I just need to know, when are they going to buy from people like me, right? And so when is my product ready, or when is my business ready to obtain or receive a contract? Are you guys following me? All right. So because I have so many contracts, I like to play in this sandbox, right? Not just so much land on the beach, but I like to play in the sandbox of government contracts because it gets me long-term money. The government can pay me, right? The government is just a client, people. So when you think about the government, they are just a client. So they are a client that has the money, the fortitude, and the aptitude to pay you your invoice. So when you're looking at contracts for your business, especially professional services, I know in construction services, people say, oh, lowest bid wins. Not all the time, and especially in professional services, it's never lowest bid win. It's based on experience. Okay, it's always based on experience. So when people call and say, Cassandra, what's hot right now? What contract can I get right now that where I can be $1 million? So my follow-up question is, well, do you have experience doing that? And if you don't, that's not a contract that you will probably win. Or if you win, are you going to keep it? Because if you're going to do something that you don't like, which is going to a job every day that you don't like, getting a contract selling something that you like is just like having a job, because you still got to perform. So we're going to talk a lot about government contracts in the box that I like to play in. Okay. And that box is being certified as a minority-owned business, a veteran-owned business, or a woman-owned business. So there are other certifications like historically underutilized business, service disabled veteran-owned business, disadvantaged business. So there are all different types of certifications that your business can obtain. So if you guys put a pin right here and ask me later or remind me, I'll tell you about, what most businesses need to be certified as for certain products, goods, or services. Okay, so let's keep going here. So we're going to talk about the who, the what, and the when. We're going to talk about who buys what you have, what do they buy, and when do they buy. So when we're talking about government, I'm not just talking about local government, city, county, state. I'm not just talking about federal. I'm talking about Fortune 500 companies as well. Okay. So we're going to talk about the who. The who could be the United States government. That's local, that's city, county, state, and federal contracts. So how long has this program been around? This government contract, or the Minority Business Enterprise Program, has been around since the 1970s. If you want to look it up, it's under the Federal Acquisition Regulation. That's the Federal Acquisition Regulation. So it's been around since the 1970s, and the MWBE program is designed to give small businesses who have a disparity or underutilized an opportunity to do business with the government. Why? Because the government buys everything. So the program is set aside for us to make a profit. I mean, not to milk the government, but it is designed for us to make a profit. You will see people, and those of you that have bid before, you'll see people that will lowball on a bid and break even, and I don't understand that, but Sometimes people do that just so they can say they had a government contract.
I ain't seen you in a minute either. I think since
So whoever has not muted their phones, I'm gonna need you to mute because we should not be hearing your.
How old were you? About what age? 13. Yeah, and what are you today? 17. Yeah, my point exactly.
And so what do they buy? They buy all commodities. So whoever has not muted their phones, please mute, guys.
Got kid meals.
Okay. And so now Fortune 500 companies also participate in the program. So it's not just government, it's also Fortune 500 companies. And who are those companies? It could be Walmart, AT&T, Walmart, Toyota, Omni Hotel, GM, Super Bowl, and we talked about some of them. DART, your public transportation. If I'm not mistaken, Uber also participates in the minority program. Every Walmart that is built under the minority program. The Dallas Cowboys Stadium, almost any athletic field, Ranger Stadium also, in Atlanta, Georgia, all of those stadiums are built under the minority program. Why? Because they get a federal kickback on the back end, just so you guys know. They get a federal kickback, so they want to do business with you. And as you guys know, small business is the backbone to the U.S. economy. So what do they buy? What is it that the government and these Fortune 500 companies buy? They buy everything. Whatever it is you're selling, they're buying it. They buy ice. And I'm going to tell you guys a little tip. How many of you guys go to like NASCAR, any kind of racing? Tailgate parties start on Wednesday. The number one thing they run out of is ice. I'm going to tell you something. I will be an ice vendor. They buy ice. They buy furniture. They buy real estate services. You know, they'll take your home and property taxes and they'll hire a realtor to sell it back. So they buy financial services, counseling services. If you are a licensed counselor or a therapist or a psychologist, oh my God, VA hospital, Methodist, I could keep going. They will buy your services, marriage counseling. If you're a pastor with a nonprofit, oh my God, under the Healthy Marriage, Healthy Family, they will pay you to do marriage counseling. Photography, social media, they buy paper. They buy, if you have a security guard business, financial services, catering. That's a lot of catering. I tell you, these people in these government offices, they eat a lot. So they buy everything. If you wrote a book, Job Corps, Bureau of Prisons, I can keep going. They buy whatever it is that you're selling. So there is nothing that you have that the government doesn't buy. And I'm going to tell you guys another one. They buy black hair services. I bet you didn't know that one. Yes, they do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. They buy janitorial services, lawn care services, computers. They buy food. They buy hats. T-shirts. Oh my God, I never knew how many T-shirts the government buys. Can you imagine how many groups are in schools? You got the cheerleaders, they all got to have on the same T-shirts. You got the booster club, they all got to have the same T-shirts. You got summer youth programs, they got field trip T-shirts. They buy so many T-shirts, it is sick. So if you own a T-shirt business, I would be certified in getting some of this business. Okay, so when do they buy? They buy right now. They buy every day. There's not a day that goes by that the government and Fortune 500 companies are not buying whatever it is that you're selling. You guys are following me? They buy right now. So can you handle understanding more? I want to just show you guys a little bit more and proof of what they buy. And so I put in a couple of slides because a lot of people think that they only buy construction services, and that's not true. They buy a lot of professional services. So I want to show you guys some proof. So this is video reproduction. This is a federal contract. They were looking for somebody to do some video reproduction services. This was the agency, was the National Endowment of the Arts. And this contract was $946,605.53. Now, I have different ways of looking up contracts. Sometimes I bid on brand new contracts. Sometimes I want to be the prime. Sometimes I want to be a subcontractor. Sometimes I want to get on a team. And sometimes I look for recently awarded contracts, because if this is something that I do, then I want to contact this company and to ask them if they need some help. So what's so amazing about recently awarded contracts is that they tell you who won the contract. See right here, it says Solaris Media Group. And then they tell you their address. And they also tell you how much of the contract they won. So this is pretty awesome to me. So this would be me. I would call Solaris and go, hey, this is Cassandra with ABC Media Group. I met you at the pre-bid meeting. Just want to let you know if you need any help. Here's my capability statement. How time you wipe that capability statement will get you every time, girl. And so here's my capability statement. You know I'm just as good as you. If you need me on this contract or maybe to help service some of your previous contracts, now that you're putting all your attention into this contract, give us a call. So that's a strategy that I use to get contracts. So here's another one for you realtors or you teachers or consultants or speakers. This one is out of Santa Clara, California. This is of course, a county contract. And this is on the first time home buyers program. They just want you to go around the county and tell people about the first time home buyers program, because apparently they're getting ready to build some homes for first time home buyers. And they have a $25 million bond to build these houses. So they want somebody to buy them. So if this is something that you do, this would have been awesome. So this is also under professional services. And this contract, and I think I cut it off on the bottom, but this was like a 5-year contract. I can talk for 5 years doing workshops about the first time homebuyer program. Yeah, but this is something that I did. So another contract, this one is out of St. Louis, Missouri, right across the river from where I was born. And this is for someone to talk to the Firefighters Association about a retirement plan. So if you deal with financial services and you deal with insurance and life insurance and retirement plans, they're looking for someone to come in and pitch them about retirement for their firefighters. So awesome. This is sweet to me. And so they even tell you where to go. They tell you the date that it started and when you got to have your bid in, and they're probably going to tell you how many firefighters out there. So if you are in financial services, I'm sorry.
People that was fighting out Expo Mall at the carnival.
I'm sorry, what you say? Oh my God, so who is talking and did not mute? Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a little bit more example, and I'm going to show you guys some proofs of some clients that I have worked with. So this is a client of mine. Her name is Kim. She's out of Redlands, California, and guess what she does? She does black hair. She won a contract with a juvenile facility, and I know Tanya White knows of another friend of ours out of Louisville, Kentucky that has a similar contract. Well, she does black hair for the youth in foster care and when they go to court. So in juvenile facilities and in foster care, so when they go to court or when they get ready to go for a hearing, that their hair is combed. And this was a $125,000 a year contract. It was a 3-year contract. So that's I don't know, 125 times 3, you do the math. And so this contract was, and guess what? They only did it on Sundays and Mondays. Isn't that when hairstylists are closed anyway? This was a sweet contract. I just thought it was just like perfect. It was like, it was just created perfectly for our hairstylists. And so this is another one, a good friend of mine, a longtime client of mine, Silva's Trucking, and they're out of Fort Worth, Texas. And we got them certified as a minority-owned business right here in Texas. And another client of mine was awarded that $25 billion contract in Atlanta, Georgia for the 75 Expressway project. So we got Silva's certified as an out-of-state company. And they came in as a subcontractor on that $600,000. It was a $600,000 contract with Silva's. So they own some dump trucks. So love Silva's Trucking. They've been a client of mine for about 7 or 8 years. And so when they found out that another client of mine got that contract, I said, well, you know, I can get you certified out of state, and made some connections, that relational currency, and they just slid right into a $600,000 contract. So can you guys just imagine just for a moment that your business could win a contract of anywhere from 1,000, 10,000, 25,000, a million. Can you imagine your business being able to handle that kind of volume? And it's guaranteed work. And it's not just for a day. It could be for a year. It could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So, you know, it's really amazing. I never thought that I would even be in this space. So for me, getting a contract with the city of Fort Worth, a 3-year contract, or I have a 5-year contract with the city of Cedar Hill, never thought in a million years that little old me would have a contract with guaranteed money where they actually pay me to do something that I love to do. And to me, when I look at that, they're just a client. They're not this big government that you can't put a face on. So in my mind, if you guys follow me on social media, I put a picture out there with a gorilla with a blonde wig, and I go, hey, her name is government. And she's the one who pays me a paycheck every month for my company to do business on something that I love to do. So also, there's another way that you can get contracts by walking in and asking for a contract. So anything under $25,000, did you know that you don't even have to bid against anybody? You can walk in and ask for them. And so a lot of my business basics one-on-one workshops all over the country is exactly that. I walked in and told them what I did. I told them why they needed me, and that of course, I had my letter of references, my capability statement, and they called them. And next thing I know, I'm doing the same workshop that I've replicated all over the country that I've been doing since 2006. It's the same slides, everything, but I get to make money off of that, and I get to show people how to do this, and that, you know, do the certifications for them. So let's just do some numbers. I love this. I love this. So a lot of people think, well, Cassandra, I don't want a $25,000 contract. I want $1 million contract. I don't want to deal with little numbers. You're thinking crazy. I don't want to bid. Sometimes I just want to walk in and ask for them. So all of you guys that live in Texas, put in the chat that I live in Texas. I live in Texas. So I live in North Texas, and in North Texas, we have 26 counties. North Texas has 26 counties and 362 cities. How do I know this? I started a Chamber of Commerce in 2012. We were a regional chamber. We were called the North Texas Minority Chamber of Commerce, so I had to know this stuff from memory. And so if I went into 362 cities and asked for a $25,000 contract, how much money is that? I'll wait. So that's 25,000 times 362 cities. That's like going into a city a day, telling them, you need me in your life. I need this contract. This is why I teach this. I do this. I'm going to help generate revenue for your city. You need me. And walk out with a contract. So if I did that, that's over $9 million, and I didn't bid against anybody. I know you guys going, that doesn't make sense to me. Something about this seems fishy. She's just, you know, trying to blow smoke, but this is exactly how this stuff works. We overthink it. I have walked into so many city offices, and I was just over in the city of Cedar Hill just last week, just going over what they're getting ready to do on their huge bond project. So you see, I say, really, she is kidding me. She got to be kidding. This stuff cannot work. I'm telling you guys, this is the God's honest truth. I love working with contracts. I want guaranteed money. I want long-term contracts. I don't want to go, well, you know, I got to meet my budget this month. I got to put something out on social media. I got to go sell a couple of books. I got to go sell some programs. I get guaranteed money coming in every month from contracts that I have with government and even Fortune 500 companies. So I have a few more questions for you. Then I'm going to open up the floor for you guys to ask me some questions. So these may be a little bit rhetorical, but I already asked you if you owned your own business. So you guys have already put it into the chat. Yes, I own my own business. So tell me, what kind of business do you own? In the chat, tell me, what kind of business do you own? Because the government buys everything. So I have not seen anything that you are selling that the government doesn't buy. I have another lady that owns she has a mammogram service. And she, next thing I know, she's getting a contract with the VA. So number 2, were you born a woman? I know you guys are like, what? Cassandra, are you crazy? What kind of question is this? right? Or were you born a minority? Well, these questions come from the Federal Acquisition Regulation, because in order for you to get certified as a minority or woman-owned business, you must be born a minority or born a woman, and that minority or a woman must own 51%, at least 51% of the business, right? And if you are a veteran and you served our country, do you have a DD 214? Right? So if you have a DD 214 and you are a veteran, number one, thank you for your service. But if you are a service disabled veteran, oh my God, I am absolutely in love with you right now. Because when you're looking at government contracting, if I walk into a room for a government contract and a certified service disabled veteran owned business walked into that same pre-bid meeting and bid on that contract, they're going to trump me every time. That's true. So if you want to partner with anybody, I would always tell you, always partner with a vet. Huh, Bridget? You always want to partner with a vet because they will trump us in government contracting. So number 5, I already asked you that you must own at least 51% of the business. So if you're thinking about, oh, my uncle is a veteran, so I'm going to get my uncle to get certified as a veteran-owned business. Well, guess what? He must own 51% of that business, and he must operate that business 51% of the time. So before you go and do something illegal, these are the requirements that are the first few requirements that you have to have in order, if you want to become certified in order to play in this sandbox. So if you answered yes, I was born a minority, or I was born a woman, or I was served my country and I have a DD 214, whoop, whoop, then you are awesome. That's half the battle. Now it's time for you to get certified, because I think it's a great time for you to be certified as a minority owned business. It's not, you just can't say, oh, I'm a black owned business, or I'm an Indian owned business, or I'm a woman owned business. You have to be certified that way. And the government and the certifying agencies have to recognize you, and they will give you a certification number that you can put on your capability statement that gives you a right to be at the table in order to bid or to walk in and ask for any of these contracts that I'm asking you. So if you were born a woman and you own at least 51% of the business, then you qualify, well, that's part of the battle, to be certified as a woman-owned business. So I'm telling you, this is the playground. This is the sandbox that I play in. I love looking for contracts based on my certifications that give me a right to bid on these contracts, because the contracts are RFPs, requests for proposals is what they're called. They tell you who can bid on this contract. It'll say you must be a MWBE, that stands for Minority Women Business Enterprise, or it may say you must be a VBE, which stands for Veteran Business or Disadvantaged Business. It tells you who can bid on that particular contract. So again, that's the sandbox that I participate in. So if you are interested in becoming certified as a minority-owned or a woman-owned disadvantaged business or a veteran-owned business, you can email me right now. And my email address is info@genesispreferred.com. You can always go to our website and check us out. But you guys can take yourself off mute, and you can always ask me anything you want right now, anything that I've gone over. Also, in our office, we will do the paperwork for you. If you've ever tried to get certified, and it is a lot of paperwork, guys. I believe the government hates trees. They hate trees because it is a lot of paperwork in order to get certified. And so if you like, Cassandra, I don't want the headache. I'd rather to pay you to do it. We've been doing this since 2006. We have been preparing our clients' documents to get them certified, and we have a 98% success rate, and we are very proud of that in our office. So if you say, well, Cassandra, I'd rather do it myself because I like paper, and I just want to know the process. I want to know strategies on how to bid like you do, walking in and getting those contracts and all the codes and everything related to that. I have an online course too. It's called Contract Attraction, and it's bit.ly/Contract Attraction 2 if you're interested in that. And so basically that is the sandbox that I work in. These are contracts. I don't do anything these days even without a contract. Even if I'm talking with you, and you're coming into my office just talking to me about mentoring or any of our other services, I'm going to send you a contract. An email is considered a contract. So I'm going to send you a contract, and I'm going to tell you, this is what we're going to do for this rate of service for your money, and this is what you're going to get from what we're going to do. So those are also my values. So does anybody have any questions about contracts, how to do business with the government, or maybe you feel that what you have, the government doesn't buy? Not everybody at one time. You got to take yourself off mute if you got a question.
Okay. Me, Dr. Cass.
Okay. Hey, Tanya.
Hey. Okay. So what would I need to have to bring to you so you can get me, help me to become minority certified? What information do I need?
So there, if you go to our website, is genesispreferred.com, and there's a checklist there, or I can email it to everybody. The checklist tells you it's over 32 different documents that you'll need in order to get certified, and that's in any state. Okay. So you're gonna have to have a birth certificate or a passport to prove that you were born a minority. And a minority means that you are Black or African American, Hispanic, Indian, or Asian, Pan Asian, or American Indian. So those subgroups are what are called minority-owned or minority subgroups. A woman means you were born a woman. So a minority means you were born a minority. And if you're Hispanic and you were born in the 1950s in the United States, your birth certificate may say white. So that's something you're going to have changed, and you're going to have to prove that your ancestors were Hispanic. So someone wrote, so also, Tanya, you're going to have a passport. You're going to have a driver's license enlarged so you look like you were born a minority or a woman. You're going to have 3-year tax returns. If you haven't been in business for 3 years, you're going to have 3 years personal tax returns, and they have to be signed. They're not going to go through your tax returns to see if they're correct. They're going to make sure that you're tax-paying citizens. They want to know how your business is structured, right? So in states where you are filed as a DBA or an assumed name, that means that you can only do business in your county. You can't do business outside of your county. So that restricts you on trying to do business in other states. Okay. They want to know, do you have any loans in the business name? They want to know the value of your business. So that's where they ask for a list of equipment. And so all of that stuff is what they're going to need. There's different things for different people. If you have a partner, then we're going to want partnership agreements. And if you still work a job, there's some other information we're going to need. So I would strongly recommend that if you are thinking about becoming a certified minority woman on a veteran-owned, you give us a call or take the course, either one, because it's in the course. But those are some of the basic things that you're going to need in order to become certified. Okay. And somebody wrote, I was born a woman and I have a massage therapy business. Well, awesome, because they look for massage therapists, especially the military. As you guys know, PTSD or PTS, which is what it's called now, marriage counseling, they look for all types of services. If you own an event center, they're a bed and breakfast, huge right now, where they can do family therapy. And sometimes family therapy may include physical therapy or massage therapy. So a lot of the hospitals now look for certified minority-owned massage therapy to subcontract to. So hopefully I was able to answer your question. Let me see, help veterans gain employment. I'm a woman veteran. Well, yes, that's what you do. Awesome. Hey, Tracy, that's got to be Tracy, because I know that's what she does. And so Tracy helps veterans to gain employment. So she helps them with that, and that's awesome. So let me see. Marquez said, yes, I'm 51% no to military. So if you're at least, so you can't be 50-50, just so you know, somebody has to be at least 51% owner. So if you have a partner in your business, you have to own the majority of the business, okay? So yes, Marquez, you qualify to be certified as a minority-owned business. Let me see, Tanya, my question, what I need to have to bring. So it's in the checklist. Do Fortune 500 companies solicit bids similar to the government? Yes, 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 yes. I love Toyota. Love Toyota. I drive a Toyota. Love Toyota, GM, Walmart. You go onto their website, but first you got to get certified. So you can go onto their website as a vendor. You want to register as a vendor doing business with Toyota. And you're going to register your business as a vendor. That helps you get to the table. So if I was you, I would, once you get certified, I would go to every city. Like there are 362 cities in North Texas. I forgot how many cities there are in Texas, period. There's a whole bunch. And each one of them has their own application. So I will go and register. Okay? Register as a vendor. That gives you a seat at the table. Okay? It gives you a seat. Because if you can't go in and talk to anybody in purchasing or procurement, because the first thing they're going to ask is, are you a vendor, a registered vendor with us? And if you say no, it's going to, well, why don't you go do that and call us back? And then you see how that works. Okay? Any other questions? No. How long does it take to get certified? Well, Charo, can you unmute yourself? Tell me what city and state are you located in? Charo, you can unmute yourself and tell me where you're located. If you're in North Texas, it can take up to 120 days to get certified as a minority or a woman business enterprise. If you want to get certified as a hub, historically underutilized business, not hub zone, but historically underutilized business, that can take 45 days. If you want to get certified as a disadvantaged business, if you're a trucking company, I would definitely tell you to get certified as a DBE, a disadvantaged business enterprise. That can take up to 120 days. If you want to get certified as a veteran-owned business, that legally, I can tell you, it takes up to 120 days, but hub takes 45 days. Getting certified as a veteran-owned business can take less than that, can take maybe 90 days, but there's some other pre-work you got to do in order to get certified as a veteran-owned business. You got to get on SAMS, you got to get your DNB number, you got to get your TPIN number and your MPIN number first, and then we go about getting you certified as a veteran-owned business. Anybody else have any questions? Yep.
Hey. You said, what was the second? 8 historically underutilized business?
So in Texas, Texas, we have what is called a historically underutilized business certification. So if you were born a minority or you were born a woman, that means you qualify. But Tanya, you guys have in Kentucky disadvantaged business, minority and woman, and you can get certified as veteran and service disabled veteran in Kentucky.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? Anybody else?
It's Bridget.
Hey, Bridget.
Hey. Well, first of all, I want to let everyone here know that I can testify to your online course because I took it and I got certified. It seemed like, wow, it was a quick, process, but you just walked me through everything that I didn't have any issues, once I turned in like all my paperwork and everything. But it was nice going through that and getting certified. What I want to know is, where do you start to look for like that low-hanging fruit?
So so Bridget, you're in Atlanta, Georgia. So I would tell you to go and register with every city in your county. You're in Fulton County. I would go and register as a vendor with every city now that you're certified. And then I would go and register with MARTA. I would also go to how many Fortune 500 companies are in Georgia?
Okay.
A whole bunch. And I will go and register, go onto their website, doing business with, who's in Georgia? Who's in?
Coca-Cola.
Doing business with Coca-Cola because they support a lot of women. So Delta is another one. Doing business with Coca-Cola. They have what is called a vendor registration. Go register. They may ask you for your MBE or your DBE number. Put that in there. They're going to ask you for your NAICS codes, as you know. Put those in there. And then it'll now allow you into their portal as to what contracts they have available.
Okay. Okay, so I registered directly with the company, not with, okay, I see.
Yeah, so you want to, I think your homework assignment was to register with so 5 or 10 cities or counties, and then go and register with 5 or 10 businesses in your city. So anybody that you want to do business with, any Fortune 500 company, you go and register with them. That gives you a seat at the table. I will also tell you guys, and I'll put it in the chat, go to bidsync.com. This is the free version. They're going to call you, go into BidSync, create a profile, and you can start looking up contracts. And the next day, you're going to get a call from BidSync and tell you need to pay. You say no. You want to play around on the free one. And I'll tell you, I'll go in there and get lost because it's fun for me. I love going on there looking for contracts. So you can go on to bidsync.com and look for contracts. Bridget, you can go on to fbo.gov. That stands for Federal Business Opportunities. That website is very encumbersome, so it will give you a headache. If I was you, veterans, I would look up contracts based on NAICS codes. Okay?
Based on what?
My NAICS codes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you guys don't know what your NAICS codes are, Google NAICS, N-A-I-C-S. Though you're just a number with the government. So your NAICS code is your job description. So if you are a physical therapist, you're going to Google NAICS and you're going to see U.S. Census Bureau. Click on U.S. Census Bureau, and in the top left corner, it's going to say search. So you're going to put in therapy. And drop down is going to be a screen that say physical therapy, massage therapy, I don't know what all the different types of therapy. You click on the one that's yours. Once you click on it, it's going to open up another one. Well, do you do physical therapy at home? Do you do physical therapy here? Is it sports therapy? Is it sports medicine? Then that's a different number. Then you go back to the search and put in something else you do. Myofascial release. I don't know. Put that in there and see what you get. So I have 21 NAICS codes. So you have more than one. So if you tell me you only got one NAICS code, that you're telling me you didn't look, because you got more than one. Okay.
Hey, Dr.
Oh, Churro. Hey, sweet, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good. So my question is, first, how do I restart the process? Because I started toward the end of last year. I moved offices as well. So I did a few things like with the DUNS number, but do I need to go in and like change all of that I did because I moved the office, or is that something we just need to talk about one-on-one?
You're not a veteran, are you?
No.
Okay, so you said you went in for your DUNS to do that?
No, I'm just saying, I started the process with you last year, but I didn't complete it, right? So what would I need to do to kind of re-engage to start back up? But then not only that, when I started, I had an office at a different location. I've changed locations, things like that. So what would I need to do in that instance?
Call me.
Okay.
Because as you know, but call me. It's a long answer.
Okay.
So call me because as long as your email address is the same, so you can receive email bid solicitations, that's what you care about.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So if once you get certified, or we start the process, you want to make sure that you're checking your email, because I get my bids around 5:30 in the morning. Bridget, what time do you get yours? Because I know you're registered in a lot of places too. I get my bids around 5:30, 5:45 in the morning. So when I'm done with my devotion, I check my emails for my opportunities, because opportunities is where the money is, right?
Yeah, so I get about 10. From about 10 to 15 different emails a day.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. And because I still have my chamber charter as a chamber president, I get a lot of stuff sent to me because they think that I still have a chamber. So I get to just send those out to people. Hey, take a look. I'm not reading them, because once you get them, you still, let's say you go into BidSync and you put in physical therapy and you see a contract in Maryland, let's say, for physical therapy, because Maryland got a lot of stuff out right now. I don't know what's going on in Maryland. They put everything off contract for bid. And so you click on it. You're going to click on bid packet. They're going to make you download it. And so I have to print out my bid packet because I can't read them online, because my RFP is about almost 300 pages long. So if that's you, I go and I look for the scope of work. I look to find out when the pre-bid meeting date is. I look to see when the proposal is due. So those are the first things I look for. So if you're looking at contracts and you guys go in there, those are some of the things that I look for. Then I look for what the set aside says. Does it say that I have to be a veteran-owned business to bid? Well, if I'm not veteran-owned, I know I can't bid. There's no need of me even going any further, right? Or what if a veteran don't show up? And I'm at the pre-bid meeting eating all the pineapple and the chicken wings. Now they're going to have to change the set aside. So don't say, oh my God, it's only for a veteran-owned business, a certified veteran-owned business, and I'm not veteran, so I can't bid. What if the veteran never shows up? I've won so many contracts on default because nobody showed up. Or I got contracts just being in the room, knowing I didn't have the capacity to bid. I was just in the room. So they felt that if I was at the table, I was just as qualified as they are. Oh, who's this? Oh, Tanya, you're so sweet. No, Tanya said, she said I'm phenomenal. So I'm going to get a bougie biscuit when I come to Louisville, Kentucky. And pushes your thinking about doing business on a larger scale. I know Tanya was in my mentoring, and we did her capability statement. And Tanya, you can tell your own story. But Tanya used her capability statement to get a contract. So I don't know if you've heard back yet, Tanya, but
I got into a 10-week entrepreneurship academy that at the end of it, after we learn everything, we get to pitch our idea to investors. And I took information straight from my capability statement. And as he was reading my application, he knew I was a good fit. Thank you, Dr. Cass, for pushing me.
So it works. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a great testimonial, but it works. Does anybody else have any questions? How long will it take to get a certification? I think I already answered that one. Tanya, I answered yours. You guys can take yourself off mute. That's what this is about. I mean, when I first got involved in contracting, I didn't know what I was doing. I remember I would go in and I would lose every time I would bid. And so I learned that losing is winning, because I would go in and ask for the abstract. And so if you've ever been on a contract and you lost, that's not the end of it. Because I have a client in Louisville, Kentucky. She did the same thing. She lost the contract, and the person it was awarded to, they come to find out she didn't have, I think she didn't have the employees that she said she had to fulfill the contract. So they had to take the contract away from her. So the next person in line, they called her and they gave her the contract just like that. So it's, I can keep going with all these stories about how to get contracts. The problem is we don't bid. As minorities and women, our poor veterans don't know about a lot of the opportunities that are afforded for them, but we don't even bid. And so when we don't bid on a contract that are set aside for certified minorities or certified women-owned business, they go to white males. So that's statistics. And so we want to make sure that if we're, I wouldn't tell you to put all your eggs in this basket. I would never tell you to do that. Okay? But I will tell you this. This is a way for you to get, I don't know who this is, who's background noise, but I'm going to have to mute you. There you go. So if that's you and you're saying, Cassandra, I want to bid, but, it's just so cumbersome. That's what we're here for. We want to get you certified, and we want to make sure that you have a right to be on the playing field. And if you guys know me, I was on the Emerging Business Committee for Super Bowl when it came to Dallas. Bridget and I have been talking, and Bridget actually volunteered at Super Bowl this year, and Bridget and I are talking about going to Miami in August. and doing some business with the small businesses in Miami to get them certified veteran-owned and minority, because you can't even be certified SUBO unless you're certified minority and veteran-owned. So, man, I'm looking to go to Miami, of course, soak up some sunshine, right? But I'm looking to go there and do some work and get some business and be certified to do a lot with the Emerging Business Committee. And so another thing I want to tell you guys, if you wrote a book, and it's a self-help book, especially you therapists that have a, where it has religious overtones, the Job Corps will eat it up. Even the Bureau of Prisons. So they'll buy it in bulk. So if that's you, I would go and register with the Bureau of Prisons, doing business with the Bureau of Prisons in your state first, and register what you do. Okay? That gives you a seat at the table. If you can teach it, the unemployment office in every state has contracts out right now. If you can teach a skill set and you have curriculum, they will eat it up. It is massive. It's a huge opportunities for minority and women-owned businesses who are speakers, who are authors, who write content, who can teach a skill set. So I have a client right now who's teaching logistics over at the Bureau of Prisons in Fort Worth. This is his second year. I have another client that's getting ready to teach the successes of being a realtor. She can't help them get their license, but she can teach them how to have their own real estate practice. So, and the successes, how to market themselves, how to get clients, all that kind of stuff. So they're buying it because some of them that have been touched by the justice system, they may not can get a job regularly. So they may have to start their own business. And I know in Texas, they get $850 to start their own business when they're released from prison. So if you haven't committed a crime that you got caught, the government don't pay us anything, but they will get $850 to start their own business, because they know that it's going to be very difficult for them to get a job, and they want them to be, involved in our U.S. economy. So does anybody else have any I have some more questions. Do Fortune 500 companies solicit bids? Yeah, I answered that one.
I got a quick question.
Uh-huh.
What class was that Miss Tanya took for the statement?
Tanya took my mentoring course. I have a 6-week group mentoring, and we help each other, and that's what Tanya took. And so what we did was we walked Tanya through. In that group, we worked on capability statements. We worked on product sheets and speaker sheets, because a lot of people in that group were speakers who could also teach, and they wanted to get their business out, to be registered, and to get contracts with the unemployment office, which I talked about earlier. So our group mentoring is what she was in. So now so Tanya, you on mute, so they can't hear you.
It's wonderful, you guys. Take it.
Okay, great. So I look on the website for the next one, correct?
Right. So if you want to go through the group mentoring is fun. It's because everybody will help you. There is a lot of homework. I have to give my disclaimer. There's a lot of homework if you're doing mentoring with me, because the objective is, mentoring is different from coaching. I'm not going to coach you to get from point A to point B. Mentoring is that I may pick up the phone and I may help you. I may put the contract in and send you the contract. I may look at some of the requirements, and we will help you get your stuff done together. So mentoring is a helping hand. Mentoring is a little bit different from coaching. So the group mentoring, and I think one of the successes of the group mentoring is that we help each other. I think the last class, one of the young ladies was in Houston, and she was doing, I think it was her first live event, Tanya. And I think 5 of us went to Houston. Somebody flew in, but we all went down to Houston to support her. And one person worked registration, somebody else worked something else. And so I love my group mentoring, if I could say so myself. But yeah, that's where Tanya got that from. So Tanya ended up needing that. She didn't want to do the capability. Precious, I'm going to tell you what had happened. she didn't want to do that capability statement at all. And we kept pushing her. And so someone said, Tanya, I'll just help you. Tell me where you're stuck. And so we ended up learning about a new program to do flyers and all kind of stuff in. And now Tanya did the capability statement. And now look at her. Yes. And now I can't keep her off the doggone program.
I know it. Hey, I made a flyer for somebody off that program. Got paid too.
Oh, see, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, it is a lot of homework. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're reaching our objectives and that we're actually helping each other. So, so that's where she did the capability statement.
Okay, well, be looking for me soon. And I want to tell you, thank you so much. You did a workshop in Cedar Hill, and you told me to get myself together. And you said, that doesn't need to be, don't be having no scratch out on your business card. So you got me all the way right. So you got me all the way right. I appreciate it so much, and I'm on my way.
But Precious, it's funny. I've been doing that workshop since 2006, and everybody only talks about the business cards. What? Nobody remembers anything else, but they remember you better have something on the back of that business card, and you better not have any scratch outs on it. So I guess you guys are listening to something. It's about the business card.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions about? Don't be afraid. Now is the time to ask. I got people that have gone through the online course. I have people that have gone through being one of my clients where we did it. I have people on that have gone through my mentoring. Thank you so much. And I just love what I do. I get to hear what you're doing in your business and where you're trying to go, and we get to help you find opportunities. That's what government contracting is all about, finding opportunities. Whether or not you want to bid on them is up to you, but at least you have the opportunity. And many of us small business owners, we don't get opportunities like everybody else. You know, you go, oh my God, they went over and they talked to someone and they got this $1 million contract. What about me? Well, what about you? So what are you doing to grow your business? It's you know, we're here to help you do it for you. I'm telling you once you get certified, where to go so you can receive the emails to your inbox. You ain't even got to leave your house. You ain't got to put clothes on. Well, you know, put on some pajamas. And but then you have to go to the pre-bid meeting, and then there are classes on how you understand government contract and how to bid. Well, you know how to bid. You the one do the job. So it's not as hard as you think. And there's so many opportunities out there. I mean, every year I have 20 contracts doing the business basics 101. I have 20 different adult services programs that I do that through across the United States. And so every year in August, I give them my dates as to when I'm available the following year. So I know by October 1st where I'm going to be, what day, what time, and then I plan the rest of my life accordingly. And so they pay me a small fee to do the class. They market it for me. I don't even have to market it. And then I get to sell my services and create relational currency with you guys. So it has been a great resource for my business. And I get to meet some phenomenal people all across the country. So, anything else? Nobody has any other questions? Not one question. You can't think of one question. Well, I want to thank you guys for your time. It's 7:39 already. So you're looking in BidSync now? Yes, you can get caught up in BidSync. BidSync will have you looking up contracts for everybody, I'm telling you. But I want to thank you guys for coming on to the webinar for Contractology. And if there's anything that, I said that you don't understand, you guys can always call my office. And if you want to, I'll put it in the chat, but I'll also say, so if you want to write it down, it's 1-800-718-2425, and my extension is 704. I never give out my cell number because people want to text me business questions, and I don't believe in doing business via text. So that's my office number, which is where I am right now. And so thank you guys so much for coming onto the webinar. I will post it on my YouTube channel. If it's not too big, I will also post it in Facebook on tomorrow. So I want to thank you guys again. Thank you, Tanya, Takita, Bridget. I don't know. There's so many people on here. I can't even see everybody. Marquette, Dr. Alfie, Charo, Tracy. Oh my God, Precious, Darcy. There's so many people, but thank you guys so much. And I'm going to end the webinar now. I'll talk to you guys later.